The latest. Thank you for your love and support. I appreciate you all. We all have been crying, singing one song, and that is a borderless Africa. We know that these borders were created and imposed on us by the oppressor, who in his own gain and interest brought this division so that as we still stay here divided, fighting among ourselves, they will have the opportunity to keep doing whatsoever and getting whatsoever they want in Africa. So we, the youth, grew to realize that these borders that were created are bringing confusion among us. That has become the reason to which Africans, we are not developing and moving ahead. So we, the youth, are crying and calling for a borderless Africa. How can we go to Europe and be moving there freely, yet we cannot move among ourselves freely? When you get to Europe, these people who brought us these borders move among themselves freely. But when we get here in Africa, they kept restrictions that we need visas to visit ourselves. And when they finally make their way into the African continent, what do we see? They are able to move among us freely without anybody questioning them where their visa is. But the one in the same skin, these people always ask for visas. Does it make sense? So, finally, our leaders are hearing and listening to whatsoever the youth are saying. So the president of Ghana, John Dramani Mahama, when they met to have their normal usual meeting, John Dramani Mahama said he has come into office as a new leader. And that is why he decided to partner, move, join, and dine, and shake hands with our all-in-all, Captain Ibrahim Traore, because he has seen that they are doing everything that the youth are crying for. Whatsoever that we are looking for as Africans, these three leaders, Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso, are giving it to the people. So he wants to move with these people. So whatsoever that they are championing, he wants to join them to champion that cause. Because what they are doing, and we are sitting down claiming they are undemocratically governed, and we are not seeing the good things that they are doing, that one, na lie. We are only pretending that these people are not doing the right thing, but that is what they are doing. The best thing for Africa is what Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso are doing. So I want to move in that direction. So for that reason, he's calling for a borderless Africa, that we can never have the sovereignty. Africa can never develop and move forward if we cannot move among ourselves freely.
This conference is a testament to our collective commitment to unlocking Africa's full potential and ensuring that our continent takes its rightful place in the global economic system. The theme of African prosperity speaks directly to the aspirations of our people, an Africa that is industrialized, integrated, and inclusive. Our continent, Africa, is at a crossroads. On one hand, we boast of immense natural wealth, a youthful and dynamic population, and growing technological advancement. On the other hand, we continue to grapple with economic disparities, infrastructure deficits, and structural barriers that impede our forward movement. But the good news is that our destiny is in our own hands. The actions that we take today through decisive leadership and strategic partnerships will define the future of this dear continent of ours. One of the most transformative initiatives of our time is the African Continental Free Trade Area. It has the potential to create the largest free trade area in the world. And the African Continental Free Trade Area represents a game-changing opportunity for African businesses, entrepreneurs, and industries. However, trade liberalization in itself is not enough. We must invest in infrastructure to facilitate trade, efficient road, rail networks, ports, and digital connectivity. We must strengthen African supply chains to to ensure that our industries produce goods and services that meet both regional and global standards. We must harmonize our trade policies to eliminate non-tariff barriers and reduce the cost of doing businesses across borders. We must fast-track the full operationalization of the Pan-African Payment and Settlement System to facilitate the payment for goods and services across our continent. If we commit to these actions, we can unlock a $3.4 trillion market, creating jobs and prosperity for millions of Africans across this continent. We must move beyond being exporters of raw material to become producers of finished goods. Whether it is cocoa in Ghana, oil in Nigeria, copper in Zambia, or diamonds in Botswana, we must process and add value to our natural resources. By so doing, we'll not only increase our share of global trade, but also create sustainable jobs for our people, especially our young people. We must indigenize ownership of our natural resources. There's capital and technology available to us today to increase our participation in the exploitation of our natural resources. Our governments must therefore work hand in hand with the private sector to drive industrialization through special economic zones that encourage manufacturing and innovation, access to finance for small and medium-sized enterprises, which are the backbone of our economies, investments in technical and vocational education to equip our youth with the skills needed for industries of the future. The fourth industrial revolution presents a golden opportunity for Africa to leapfrog traditional development models. We don't need to go back to inventing the wheel. Digital transformation can drive financial inclusion. It can improve public service delivery and create new opportunities for all our people. We must therefore expand internet access and digital infrastructure to bridge the digital divide. We must encourage fintech and e-commerce to facilitate trade and economic participation. We must invest in research and development to support our homegrown innovations. Technology indeed has the power to make Africa more competitive if we embrace it strategically. Prosperity cannot be achieved without good governance, transparency, and accountability. Investors and businesses thrive where there is stability, predictable policies, and the rule of law. Our youth are getting tired and frustrated at the lack of opportunity for realizing their dreams and aspirations. Our decision to embrace democratic governance was supposed to be accompanied by a dividend that will lead to improvement in the lives of our people and prosperity for all. Unfortunately, progress in this regard has been sluggish and largely intangible. If we are to maintain the faith and trust of our citizens in democratic and constitutional governance, we must accelerate our rates of economic growth, expand investment, and provide employment opportunities for our young people. As leaders, therefore, we must reaffirm our commitment to strengthening democratic institutions and ensuring free, fair, and transparent elections. We must fight corruption, which robs our nations of resources needed for development. And we must promote peace and security, as economic growth is impossible in times of conflict. It is therefore a call to action, this African Prosperity Dialogue, that Africa's time is now, and that the decisions we make at this dialogue must not end in resolutions alone, but we must act with urgency, determination, and a shared vision for our prosperity. Let us rise to this occasion and break down the barriers that divide us, and build an Africa that is strong, self-reliant, resilient, and globally competitive. As our first president of Ghana said, Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, and I quote, he said that the forces that unite us are intrinsic and greater than the superimposed influences that keep us apart. Let us embrace those forces that unite us and chart a new path for Africa's economic transformation. Long live African unity and long live African prosperity. I thank you very much.
They sit there and say, free trade area, free trade area. It can be free trade area when we cannot enter into our individual nations. When we still allow these people colonial restrictions to be imposed on us. These people design very beautiful colors and named and grouped us under them. And we are still sitting here saying we want freedom, reparation. It will never come if we don't break through and free from the colonial chains that these people have kept us. Finally, these people sat down and then they brought us some beautiful things. We hope that this time around they will follow them. Yes. They are talking about we adding value to the raw materials that we have. That is amazing. Yes, John Mahama said it. We have to add value. How can you be exporting your natural resources in the raw form? And when you need it, some people will see somewhere, turn it into finished good and come and sell it to you. It doesn't make sense. That we have to do away with it. And this is a system that the West have kept in place. It is a system, they design it very beautifully, that Africans can never add value to their raw materials, because when we do, they will suffer. They want to keep getting the natural resources at a very cheap price. Yes. So when we export it in the raw form, they now turn it into finished good and come and sell it back to us at a very high interest rate. That we need a lot of whatsoever that we can get and go and give it back to them and take something that we could have just made it very simple for ourselves. So they are saying that they have to do away with that thing. They have to add value to the natural resources, like what Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso are doing. Our all in alls, our saviors, our protectors, our unifiers. The most loud. The same thing these people are doing, and they are sitting down plotting evil against them. Saying they want democratically elected president, giving them pressure that they have to do what? Organize elections. It's the same thing they went to their meeting and they are talking about. You know, Africa, when we have seen people doing the right thing, that we need to always be proud and say, my brother, you are doing it right. This is the way we have to go. We have to move in this direction. Oh, we never thought this way. We thought doing it this way would have been better, but you have come to give us a different idea. African leaders are not like that. They would rather go and sit that when they know very well that what these people are doing is the right thing, yet they'll go and sit there and be saying they have to come back to constitutional rule, they have to come back to democratic rule, they have to come back to political. It be that word that we go chop. So what they are doing, and you are saying no, is what they are doing. And they said the intra-free trade area, that we have to. How can we develop when we trade less among ourselves? Go to China 70, go to US 100, go to UK 100, go to where 100. Africa 15, 20%. You sit here, you go and meet in your meetings, and you want to go ahead. You want to develop. It will never happen. So now they are saying that they have to do away with that kind of thing, and we will trade more among ourselves. We have to do. We must eat our things. We must eat the African, drink the everything African must be us now, because we are Africans. These people are trading among themselves woefully. It's as if it is a crime that when I sell to Burkina, something will happen. Burkina will progress. Burkina must suffer, so that I'll give it to the West. That has been our problem. And now, financial institution they talk about, that one bank, central bank and currency. We are hoping that it will happen, because Africa, we need a currency. We need a currency. We need to have our own currency. And not only that, we need one leader. We want to be under one leader. We want to see Africa. Africa is a country, not even a country like Mamponga said it. Yes. We want to live as such, under one leader, one currency, one army. This is the only way we can defeat oppression. Those of you who are there, you know the oppressor have you in their pockets and you can do it. You can at least look for people that will do this behind door now. Yes. Yellow Popo has oppressed us for a very long time. We need to show them the manpower. In Africa, everybody came out of us. So we cannot continue to be who we are not. This narrative of poverty is not our story. So, what these people are doing and you are tagging them is the same thing you sit in your meetings and you are talking about. So we have to unite as a people, collaborate and do things the right way. Let's have our own systems, our own rules, our own everything, and do away with the colonial systems and everything. That way we will see the African that we are yearning for, and stop always giving us projects in 60, 50, 20 years when you will never live to see that. We are in the present, so we want to live in the present. We the youth are living in the present, so do things in the present for us now. And for what can so this is amazing, wonderful, that we hope that it will materialize. We hope that it will materialize. United we stand, divided we fall, and united we keep standing forever and ever. The greatest enemy of the African is mental slavery. So let's decolonize ourselves from mental slavery. Let's keep sharing to educate our brothers and sisters. Together we make Africa great for ourselves and the next generations that are going to come. I love you, my family, for always choosing the latest and how you are making me grow massively. I love you. So that's the latest around the world and in Africa.